Soul Streamint. Am I right, guys?
Or wasn't.
Uh, Soul. What would you like? Can we just think of like a better name for soul streamers now that we're not soul streamers? Like,
I
what would
mean,
be
Soul
more
Memers
accurate?
was like pretty good.
Soul
I like
Memer.
soul memers
Yeah.
because then at least it doesn't imply that we all live stream as the
Yeah.
primary medium. That's my heart open.
You know what? I think that's a good one. You know what's crazy to think about? This is like going to be the first thing I'm like uploading without being a soul streamer since
Or,
Misfit.
wait. Quick check. Everybody look around. Make sure we don't have the logo anywhere.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
get
that
Pretty
it.
good.
before.
The
Okay.
logos there we're cooked. I had to re-edit. I had to stop. I was editing 3 different videos from my trip that are all tied into the game, and they had the logo featured in it. So I had to go back and take it out. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna make the whole video. Like, I'm redoing it.
That's
That
rough.
was a slap in the face. That was, I mean,
That's rough.
not their fault, but it's like,
Hmm.
man, that was rough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I was.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was. I took a minute before I took the logo off of everything. I was like, oh, I gotta move. I gotta go on my website and take it off of there. I gotta take it off the YouTube banner. Like I haven't touched that in years.
Oh man, yeah, the
It's weird.
banner.
It's
I'm not
weird.
gonna lie, I hope we don't get in trouble for it. I don't think we will, but there's so many things where can't even remember what it could be on. Like, I don't know, I was on Reddit the other day and it's still on my Reddit profile. I'm just too lazy to
Hmm.
change it.
Hmm.
I don't
Um,
think they're gonna send the copyright ninjas after you. I think they're just covering their own asses as a formality.
mm.
Yeah.
So with the program ending, how do you guys feel not having a title of Mabinogi Soul Stream?
It's weird because for over 4 years, I've been in the program, and I joined the program probably like a year and a half after like really diving into making the tutorial videos. Um, so it wasn't like I haven't been making content for that long compared to how long the program was around.
Mm,
Um, like the majority of the content that I've made has been with the program there as either support for it or just kind of there to incentivize it. So it's kind of uh, I don't know. It's weird because this isn't directly related to the program closing, but the point that I'm at in Mabi right now, I'm like at like this wall of endgame, and there's just nothing new for me to do. Like I've done basically everything. I've done all the builds that I want to do. Um, and so like there's nothing like it's hard for me to get like another like goal to work
mm,
toward. And I'm kind of in this like waiting like in the waiting room for new content to come out because there's the new dungeon uh Brelith, yeah, that's coming out this summer. There's the new Arcanas that are coming out this summer, and I'm just kind of sitting and waiting. And and that kind of contributes to how I feel about the program closing, where it's like, all right, well, the program closed, so there's no like incentive for me to like really push and put out this content outside of my own motivations, and my own motivations for the game are pretty low right now. So
mm.
it's like I haven't really like made I didn't make a video last month, and I don't really feel bad about it, but it's like I'm just kind of waiting.
Mm.
Like I probably like I'm definitely gonna make more content for the game, but it's like right now it's kind of like we're in an in between.
Yeah,
I feel that.
yeah, same. Like with the program closing, it felt bittersweet, but also like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because uh, I guess I don't know if we can talk about. I'll cut it out if I have to. But for people at home watching, we did get bonuses. Nice little treats for uploading so much content every month, and that did kind of
Mhm.
motivate me into like doing better. Not just for the bonuses, but one of our
Yeah,
handlers. Um,
you keep a schedule.
yeah, keep a schedule, and Dan was awesome at like being like, dude, no, do more, you can do better. Um, do this and you'll probably see like great returns.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, definitely
Mhm.
will.
yeah, as like a manager and a handler, he was really good for pushing me to do better in terms of just growing. Um, but with the program closing, it just let me take a step back and just be like, all right, how do I want to go forward with this? And let me just take some time with like editing and polishing out some ideas instead of trying to hit those targets. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't like
For
rushing anything, but like I was kind of like trying to keep the schedule.
Yeah. For
You just don't
context,
feel like
Dan was not involved in the program closing. So the person we're talking about is
yeah,
far removed from the program closing. They were not around at the time that this happened.
Yeah, he's
But
that's
probably
fine.
laid off if we're being honest about Nexon.
And if you're watching us, you're the
or got a
GOAT, man.
better job.
You're the GOAT.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully you get a
appreciate you.
better job. He was a
You
gem.
know he did. You know he did.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some thoughts about that, but how do you feel about this closing, nerd?
You know, kind of similar to you, like I had gotten so until the later half of it, I was so like schedule oriented that I felt like if I didn't hit that mark of like 2 Mabinogi videos a month, even if they were like the dumbest like thing, like I'm pretty sure like there was one month I uploaded a video that was just me talking about something like behind a green screen with Mabinogi stuff in the background. I felt like I felt like it was a wasted month.
Mhm.
But,
Mhm,
as it went on, I really got into the habit of just trying to take my time with stuff, so it felt like a breath of fresh air because one thing that I always had struggled with, even before, solo streamers, was how do I branch how do I branch out and make what I wanna make while still, like, staying true to the people who've, like, gotten my channel to where it's at? A lot of people who like
mhm,
Mabinogi subscribed, even though, like, I have a clear interest in wanting to make, like, more IRL stuff now alongside the game. I got more into, like, videography, and I learned more things, and then music, and so it's
in
like, how
theater.
do I mix those? And I felt like I had to, but now I don't feel like I necessarily have to. I finally feel like I can say, "You know what? I can take a step back from just Mabinogi and try to explore new fields and new ways to tell stories and still have fun with it. And I'm not abandoning
Mhm,
Mabinogi. I'm just branching out. Like I feel like I don't have to keep making that Mabinogi thing. Like now if I travel again, I don't have to make my trip about Mabinogi.
Mhm.
mhm,
So it's sort of bittersweet. It's sort of like I do think that it was motivating to try to innovate and entertain and capture an audience, and also like keep people who play Mabinogi entertained. But at the same time, it's relieving. If you, I'm hitting my desk. I got long legs. Um,
yeah.
it's relieving that I don't have to upload something.
Well,
Like the last video I
it's
uploaded,
not
oh,
like
that's good.
it's more like you don't feel like it's a waste to not upload because the incentive, doesn't have a hard
Limit of
like a quantity to it. So it's like
yeah.
if I don't hit this metric, then I've wasted the month, and that just not being there kind of lets you hit your own goal
Yeah,
instead.
like, we joked about
Yeah.
it a little bit earlier, I think
Mhm.
off this, but, like, when I was gone for 3 months straight, like, I really was feeling like, "Oh, man," like, I'm pretty sure, like, I talked to Hero like, "Hero, like, we're gonna do a bit where you hijack my YouTube channel for Mama Noble." I still felt like I had to do something, even
Mhm.
though I had no tools to do it, like, I'm like, "If I don't do that, I feel like I'm sort of betraying, like, not only, like mostly people like Dan really motivate you to, like, to do stuff, to stay active with it, and
Mhm.
it felt like, if I'm not taking advantage of that, then it's sort of a waste, like, I'm letting everybody else down. So,
Yeah, and just
it feels good not
to
to
preface for everyone out there, sorry, we were not actually paid by Nexon for any of the things we did. For the people unaware, it was just kind of like, hey, here's some gotchas every month. Open them, have fun. Thank you for all your hard work.
I refer to it as monopoly money.
Yeah, exactly.
monopoly.
We were paid in monopoly money. It wasn't real money. It was monopoly money.
I mean, I could say it now, I mean, there was one thing I got paid for,
Oh, dude, hit
but
us.
Yeah, the snowman thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
one?
yep, yep.
Yeah, no. I'd heard about that. I was like, "Why don't they do that more?"
Yeah,
Why don't they
that's what I'm
commission us to
saying.
do more stuff for the website and for the YouTube channel? I
I
was waiting.
inquired.
I was like, hey, we could do some really cool stuff.
Like, dude, we literally have, like, a list of things that if they were doing it on the main channel, that would've been huge, like, fish games,
Yeah.
you guys organized fish game, that was big. That was crazy from start to finish. The 24-hour
Hmm.
Mabinogi live stream,
If
never doing that
It's
again.
great.
did
Like, listen, that was fun.
they
That was
host
that
a
was
24-hour stream on the main channel or no?
No,
no.
no, that we did that on Mabby Nerd's channel,
See, like something like that on the main channel would be nuts. Like you
right?
said, there were so many great ideas of us like
To be
popping up on the
fair
main channel, and they're like, "Let me see," and then just kind of never got back to me.
Yeah, red tape,
to be fair,
red
Hero,
tape.
this pre-tape this is new red tape because before that wasn't red tape, but unfortunately some mistakes in the past, kinda got us off the main. We lost the Twitch privileges.
No, no, no. This is goes way further back than that.
Yeah.
Um, so the YouTube channel, um, can I can I mention that?
Yeah,
It's difficult for them to post on the YouTube channel for NA because everything has an approval process. So it goes
yeah,
through like a lot of hands, and it's hard to do stuff like that. So it was like every time we'd ask if there was something we could do on the YouTube channel, it's like, "Yeah, let's find out," and then just didn't hear about it.
yeah,
I feel like that's okay to say.
I think so.
Um, but yeah, they did let us stream on the Twitch channel for a bit, and then, like, F-bombs were dropped, and
From
Call it
that went
Casket,
away.
right?
call it, who what was,
It wasn't just Casket,
no, it's Waygate. I called it Waygate.
but yeah, there were a few, incidents, but I
Fun to
think, like,
say.
some of that, like, to be fair, Mabinogi has a generally more adult audience than it used
Oh,
to.
yeah,
And
it
I
was,
see that in just like the attitude of people when you're walking around talking to people in Dunbarton and stuff like that. Like everybody's kind of got.
You know, their
I think they
demeanor.
could. Yeah, I think they could loosen up on like, um, what is it? The chat restrictions and stuff in Mabby. They could give us a little more freedom there.
they sorta did
Um,
a little bit, just a
yeah, they
little.
did. They did.
They still didn't give
Um,
us drawable stickers though, or chats.
Yeah, yeah, why won't they, like
mhm,
we
mhm,
need to push for that even harder now that we're not solo streamers. Now we
mhm.
can be the loud we can make the noise. So we went to the Japan servers and we saw a feature that we don't have. Let us draw our pictures. Let us do it.
It's so easy to just put in, well, I shouldn't say easy, it's probably complicated, but it's like, you could just put in a thing that says, like, "I don't wanna see it," and
Didn't they
Bro,
then
do that with MapleStory too? I swear they did. With the glyphs,
mm,
probably.
even with the glyphs, isn't there like a checkbox you have to
There's
hit
2.
before you
There's
2?
2. Um you have to say that there's nothing that breaks the guidelines when you craft it and when you make the glyph for it. Like, you make it from the paper, like, from the, uh, what's it called? Glyph something.
Glyph,
Glyph
right? No, that's the
formula. So glyph design. You make it with the glyph design, and you have to like do a checkbox to say like it follows the guidelines. And then when you make it into a glyph, you have to do it again
mm.
you know what?
for
I
the
haven't
same design.
seen any like serious offenders for like the glyphs though. Like sincerely, I haven't seen anything bad.
Yeah, I know everybody's done like cool things with them, as far as I'm
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing but, like,
aware.
really cool things. I've seen some horrendous characters, but not glyphs. I was gonna say something, to that point of, region to region, and it's slipping my mind, but
Also, region to region, Mabinogi Mobile, they locked all that shit down so hard right like the day before
Yeah,
release.
you get IP
really
banned if you try to access it from a non-Korean IP.
Yeah, you can't
that's
even go on
crazy.
their websites anymore unless you have a VPN. Like before I could do it, no problem, just Chrome. Mabinogi Mobile or Mabinogi Korea, pull it up. Now it doesn't even work. It just redirects you back to the North American site.
Okay, I have a
Really?
conspiracy. All right,
What's that?
all right, all right.
Hit me.
Do you think it's a coincidence that Soul Streamers ended in the same year that Korea announced their own version of Soul Streamer?
No shot. Are you kidding?
Um, I mean, that did happen, but I don't think it's entirely unrelated. I guess we could go into that topic now. Like the
Oh, my bad.
conspiracies of
No,
why we think the program ended and how, like, what led to it,
All right.
right?
A honestly, I think I think NA's handling of like like I guess like content creators probably piss poor and hemorrhaging money, right? And Korea is like, screw that. We're pulling all the funding and we're actually going to put it to use and show you how it's done. I think that's what happened.
all right.
Um, I think that's like one aspect to it, but it's like, um, you're looking at like what caused the avalanche here, right? And it's a million different things and whatever the last thing was, like that's what knocked it over. And I think the manager at the time of the closing, um, probably was like the final thing.
Not Dan.
Um,
Dan was
No,
awesome.
not
Not
Dan.
Dan.
That Dan's
Dan was
awesome.
awesome. But I think the things that led to it were, um, there was a lot of inactivity in the Soul Streamers program. There was always the meme of like, "What are the Soul Streamers? I haven't heard of those before.
Yeah,
They're not really streamers, are they? Like, I haven't seen this person go live in months," or like that sort of thing. And there's like a level of truth to some of that criticism. There's obviously a lot of us that were active every month, multiple uploads, multiple streams. I mean, Luminous streams every week. Uh, I know Brafizzle was pretty good at doing the weekly streams as well. Um, and then obviously we've been making content. I've been doing like the YouTube shorts and the long form videos, and so
you
it's
were
not
doing it
like
for a
all of
while.
us. But I think when you look at the whole picture, if you're not looking at individuals but just the whole program as a whole, Um, I think you could see that there's like a general lack of content compared to what you would expect with the size of the group.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
like
Um,
26 people, I think.
yeah.
or
It was
something like that.
more. When I counted them off, I was actually surprised. I think it was it's close to it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of us, but
Was.
not a lot of us in the
Um,
chat.
Bum,
and
bum.
then I think another thing that contributed to it is both how much we would ask for, um, which is like there's a number of the soul streamers that were always asking for, hey, when is the next like early access server? Can we get these sort of things in the game, or are we able to get like these titles? Can I get this for an event? That sort of
Mm,
thing. So we're always kind of like pushing to do more. Those of us that were active, we're pushing to do more, and that required resources and time that took away from
Maple Story.
whatever else they were doing. Yeah.
Maple Story, my nemesis.
Um, and then at the same time, I know Pippa wanted to be a soul streamer. And I think they looked at the program, looked at Pippa, and were like, "This program cannot support a creator like that." Like, if you think, if any of us had blown up, would the Soul Streamer program have been able to facilitate that in any way?
I don't believe so. No.
It's like we wouldn't have had the support to do, like, larger giveaways, we wouldn't have had the support to, um see about, like, having somebody mod for us in, like, the chat or anything
Yeah,
like that. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of missing and wouldn't have been what a larger creator would have looked for in the program. They wouldn't have been happy with what kind of support you got from the Soul Streamers program. And I think that was ultimately, like, could have been a killing blow, we'll say. Like, if you're looking at the program and you're like, "Alright, a successful creator couldn't." Not to say, like, any of us are unsuccessful, right? But a highly successful creator would not get the things they needed from this program.
Yeah, that's
Hero,
true.
which is
you heard what he said, right?
Yeah, I don't take it personally.
I
Like,
stopped myself. I stopped
to be
I'll
myself.
take that.
successful on YouTube, I think, I don't know. I was looking at stats, and anything over 500K is considered like successful, like 100,
Yeah,
250. Still seems like you're breaking through on YouTube just with how many people have that number. But
yeah.
Mhm.
anyone that's above, like, I'd say maybe 20,000 subscribers, your social streamer's doing nothing for you.
Yeah,
Like, I
which
think,
is, I think, a problem with the program.
yeah, the only thing the program was good for is I love playing the game, and I kind of got shit in the game for playing it and making content about it. So it was a win-win. I was already making content. I love the game, and it was a win-win. But outside of that,
Mhm.
in terms of growing my channel, I don't think they actually helped all that much.
Yeah. I think that ties into like I think one of the shortcomings is advertising when we're streaming. There were some ideas that came later on, but I think that also they came at unfortunate timings. Like for example, being able to have your stream on the Nexon launcher was a feature that became available to us around the exact same time that Twitch started making that against to TOS for I forget what they called it, but you actually aren't supposed to do that. Like, oh,
Yeah, and
that
like one idea I had too for like people making content on YouTube, I was like, hey, instead of using like that default loading screen at the start of streams where you're counting down for 10 minutes, do a promo reel of like our content. And I even sent them like a demo. I was like,
yeah,
because they're
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
yeah, we want to like advertise more for you. And I was like, all right, here, let me cook something up, 2 minutes long. It was right before I dropped Mabinogi till 4. Um, just like snippets of a bunch of songs, and I was like, "Yeah, you can just play this before the stream." So I'll have the timer and everything. And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see what we can do," and nothing ever happened.
it's a
But
really good idea.
yeah, it's just like a highlight reel of like some of our stuff throughout the month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could even update that every month, and they could have had us put it together
Yeah,
even,
I,
but
I would have no
it's just
problem.
like, yeah, it's like I feel like, the ways that the program could have been used, it wasn't utilized that way, and whether that's for, like, lack of time, lack of passion on whoever's end, um, or maybe just the red tape. Maybe it was just red tape. We were just running into red tape everywhere, and, like, the program couldn't grow because of the structure of it.
jumping
Um,
topics a little bit,
Mhm.
not fully,
yeah.
but like about like presenting good ideas. I gotta give Joe some credit because he was really trying to bring back that energy back when
Mhm.
they were doing like break time with Fergus and stuff on the channel.
Yeah.
That's the type of energy that I wished. Like if I had a wish list for what soul streamers could have been, I wanted them to keep doing stuff like that. But then like you have a bunch of us because I know one of the big points of contention probably was you got to pay for the actors, you got to pay for Caravan Joe, you got to pay for Fergus, and you got us who already are like video inclined people who would I guarantee you like get Hero in a bit. I think all three of us would happily come through and like brainstorm other characters that we could bring for some kind of like fictional talk show in Mabinogi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I wanted to get involved with more stuff like that from the production side of things, and he was bringing that energy. But I think
I
he
mean,
kind
just
of got like,
look at what Itze's done with Murder Mystery.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
that's
she
actually
gets the
really good.
whole community together, everybody just participates in the event, sends in their lines, their recordings and everything, she does a lot of work behind the scenes, like, it's
Even the
insane.
awards is like such a good
Yeah, and
idea.
the awards
An
show.
award ceremony for like people who like make stuff in the community. I think that
Mhm.
that means a lot, especially
Yeah,
for like Mabinogi.
and it's just like, they had the ability to do that themselves, like, get the community behind it, and I've been telling them this for a while now about the voice acting. It would be great if Mabinogi had English voice acting. And you know what? You don't even have to pay for it. Just run a contest, throw some NX behind it, and say, send in your lines, and if we get like enough and they're high enough quality that we'll actually use them for the English voiceover for the game. And I know the community would pull through. We'd do it.
Guaranteed, guaranteed.
Even if you did it like generation by generation, and you could always just say like, here are the winners, but we can't use them this time. or something like that. Like you could always do that.
Hmm.
I wanna be the voice of the mailbox NPC.
uh, but I feel like the community would be down for something like that. Obviously, the voice actors among us would maybe have problems not getting commissioned for it, but hey, NX isn't nothing.
I don't know.
On as an aside, like, did you guys save your NX or did you immediately spend it?
I spend
Oh, I
it.
have none. I have none left. Yeah,
I have been it's probably because of a lack of activity. I have, like, an NX fortune because I haven't been
I
spending
believe it.
How much you
I believe
got?
it.
Hit us with how much you. No, wait, don't. Because I'm scared
It's
somebody will
got to
try and
be.
get into your account.
It's
Yeah, I'm not gonna
it's
say it.
got to be 7 digits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you haven't really played the game and like you logged in, but like there was no reason for you to spend NX in like the last year. I can imagine.
Yo,
okay.
no.
Can Okay, is there a possibility you could partner up with Hero to try and fund some of his Saluna?
Yeah, I could do that.
Dude, I'm at
Well,
25 fate fragments right now, and I can
here's the
buy like
funny thing.
four more, but like people are asking crazy prices for it now.
Oh, Hero,
Yeah,
you told me the ultimate, like, the money hack for Mabinogi, and I've been doing that, so, like,
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
I will fund it. I'll help you out. I got you.
Dude, I only need like 4 more billion gold.
Easy. We're gonna run it, but it's gonna make some people mad because I'm gonna ruin the market with all the I'm not trying not to say it. I don't want
Yeah.
yeah,
to spill
just
the
keep it on the
secret.
download for now. Sorry, viewers and listeners, there are some things that remain secret.
You want this gold making secret? You have to subscribe to their channels and then go to my channel and say, "Where's the money, nerd?"
And then
Nah,
donate
it's gonna cost you a
$10.
Twitch sub. It's gonna cost you a Twitch sub.
Twitch subs.
That's a joke, by the way. That's not. I'm not being serious about that. If you want to know all the gold making secrets, go to like my gold making guide. I have it listed somewhere.
Literally, that's
On
how you
Cryozen's Guide to Guides, there's a gold making guide that I wrote. It goes over every possible way to make gold in Mabinogi, from the bad ways to the good ways. Just go look at that and figure it out.
Is our way in there?
Probably.
Huh.
It's
Traitor.
got
you're
every
gonna have to remove
every
that.
single way you could make gold in Mabinogi, from going behind the beggar in a main and picking up the gold, or not the beggar, the rich guy in a main and picking up the single pieces of gold he drops, to like freaking tactics on what to do with airship, like the air balloons,
Well, what's
All
the
right,
like hot air
interval?
ballooning and stuff.
24-hour stream idea, right? Like 24-hour Mabinogi stream where you stand behind the beggar to see how much money you can make from him in the span of 24 hours.
I mean, it's not nothing.
What's the interval that he drops one gold at?
It might be random.
Because if you just AFK there, doll bag, check back every
Yeah, you
couple
can.
hours,
You can. You can.
set a 2 hour timer, go play some other games.
That's the real infinite gold glitch.
I'm gonna be honest. You would make more gold doing the same thing for cobwebs and just selling the threads.
That's fair.
Um,
Point.
but yeah, no. If you guys need like a tip on how to make gold, I wrote a thing. I haven't made a video on it because every time I'm like, I'll sit down and make the video, it's outdated and I have to go update it, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna make the video. It's too much. There's too many ways to make gold in Mabby.
I might make that video. Great idea.
Really good idea.
Hmm. It's written in the form of a video script. You
Oh,
could
that's
just
that's what
steal
I'm
it.
saying. And then, I make one. By the time you update it, you might want to make the next one. Then I'll look and be like, well, shit, Rixie uploaded a video. No point in doing it. And then, just rotate off
Oh,
years.
The cycle
I I,
continues.
I want to talk about that. There's some creators that have popped up that are making like guides and tutorials now.
Uh huh.
But,
Cool.
like, after the Soul Streamers ended? It starts with an R on YouTube. I've seen a couple of their videos. They've done a few over the past couple of months. I'm trying to remember, like, the exact name. I'll have to find it.
This is
Um,
with an R.
yeah, it's like
Is it Ricky? Ricky's Sneaky?
That
no.
name sounds really
Um,
familiar.
It's, it's a movie with John Cena. It's actually pretty
Okay,
funny.
Rhytherion. Rhytherion. They started making guides.
Right after Soul
it's
Streamers
always cool
ended,
when
do you
you
think there's
see
a connection?
No, I think like the timing's unfortunate for them maybe, but yeah, they started making videos like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I've seen a few people pop up trying to advertise for stuff on Reddit.
Hmm.
I'm mad we didn't see our boy Ball Puncher make it in before the program
Right?
ended.
I thought he would have. I thought he
Ah,
would have.
there's
He
so many.
definitely
There's
would
so
have.
many incredible creators, and I'm mad weren't in the Soul Streamers.
I'll say it.
I really wanted Ball Puncher to get in for 2 reasons, because that means that if they officially sponsor someone with the name Ball Puncher, but also he does good videos.
Do you think that would be a
He
reason
does,
for like no acceptance? Like they'd just be like, shit,
I
we
can
gotta
tell you
reject
a
it.
story about a friend of mine who did get rejected
maybe.
because their name was, like, they didn't realize it, but their name was, like, kind of a really bad euphemism. I'm not gonna say what it was because I don't wanna get your video taken down, but
Right, you know what? Say it. Go for it.
I'm not I won't.
Okay, that bad.
Yes.
Could you spell it?
Well,
What does it sound like?
so
Use adjacent words.
okay, all right. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. Is a combination of two. All right, all right.
Yeah.
You got a cute bunny. All right, and
Uh-huh.
then you have okay, like okay. So in the world of anime characters, right? You would say like you have the regular like adult anime characters,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like in terms of like McDonald's, right? Like an adult anime character is like a Big Mac, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had I can feel the concern in your
No, dude,
voice.
just say it. Just keep going. Don't stop. I'm just trying to think.
Their name
Anyways,
implies Happy Meals, all right?
Happy Meal.
Kid meals.
Maybe because it's 1 a.m. I'm not too entirely sure.
Are you familiar with the Blue Archive fan?
Yeah.
You know, like the meme about Blue Archive fans.
No.
some of our listeners have gotten it already, but I think me and Hero
We'll move on.
have had a day.
All right, dude. All right. Do you know how there's like on have you watch TikToks, right?
No.
Do you know how they call certain people in the world uh that target children? They call them PDF document files.
Yes,
Use adjacent words like that.
I got you. I should have said PDF file and been done with it.
Oh, is that what
They're
it was?
not, though. They're not, but their name is a slang term for that, and they didn't know that.
What is it?
That's unfortunate.
Was it like goof or something like that?
No, it was like an acronym. It
Oh,
became an acronym for it.
Is that the talking character from Dora the Explorer?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We've
oh, a
thoroughly
swiper.
confused heroes.
A
No,
swiper. No.
no, no.
Character.
Anyway,
This is
this is this is funny. Like when you get it,
I'm
he'll
never
because
get
gonna
it.
get it.
No, you're gonna
you're
get it.
not.
You're gonna
No,
wake up
it's
in the
fine.
middle of the
It's fine.
night. You're gonna wake up and be like, "That's what they meant."
You type it in the chat, please. It's gonna bother me. I won't be able to sleep later. And I still don't understand what it stands for. Oh, that feels like the 2025 way to call someone a file.
Yeah. No, 2024, 2023. But anyway,
Like it sounds like you're trying to be inclusive.
You know what?
that was originally the attempt
I'm sorry.
behind that movement, and it failed miserably, which is good.
Yeah, because
Good
it's
bit.
all predators trying to get it going, you know?
While you guys are talking
Anyway,
about this, I saw a screenshot that makes you wanna check something. I'm not gonna say what. I need to verify something.
okay. Um, so what else do we wanna talk about as far as, like, the Soul Streamer stuff?
What was, like,
Soul
the
Streaming.
height like, what did you
Right.
feel you took away from it? Like, what's your highest moment on the Soul Streamer program? Like, where you're like, "I'm
I
about
have a few moments that were, like, really cool. Um, so, obviously getting to go out and, visit everybody in LA, that was dope.
Mm.
Um, the second time, I feel like I was more prepared for the trip. The first time, I got horribly sunburned, um,
Same.
and there were, like, a lot of, like, negatives to the trip and everything, right? Like, it was just, like, we didn't get very much done as far as what we wanted to do the first trip. Um, Everything felt like it was kinda, like, to, like, a weird schedule. I didn't get as much filmed as I wanted to film because I was more in the moment.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
just a lot of stuff was weird
I
the
I
first one.
agree
Well,
with, like, the
I
trip
shouldn't say
thing.
weird.
Like, I
Yeah.
can get how, like, first trip, it was very overwhelming and, like, the schedule felt weird,
Mhm,
and, like, I
mhm.
never felt like I really knew how much time I had, and
Yeah.
I can get where you're coming from on that. Like, second trip, I feel like I would've been ready, but guess what?
Mhm.
Not happening. Um,
Yeah.
but I was looking forward to a second trip.
Well, I maybe a hot take, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I wouldn't rule out
Yeah,
any,
I
like
wouldn't rule out either.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I think there might be some, like
Let's put it like this, the Magmel
there's
mixer just got rolling, and I think
yeah.
that one of the main things that, like, had it going was also bringing out people who make content around the game. It's a celebration of that. So if there was ever, like, another campfire or another Magmel mixer, which I think there will be, I think that they're definitely gonna want to try to bring some people out for that. That's my prediction.
Think
I could be wrong,
it
but
yeah, I think it might be a shorter list. It might be a harder list to get on, but I don't think it's, like, impossible for it to happen again.
Listen, alright, if alright, I think we should make a pact here if that's the case. If I
yeah,
get an invite, I'm gonna vouch for the 2 of you to get an invite as well, and I think it should go vice versa.
Oh,
right.
for sure.
We got all hands in.
We can just be like, "Yo, we're gonna do an episode of the MabiCast, but you guys gotta sponsor it."
Yeah, we'll do a
Like,
MabiCast
live
at
at the
the
mixer,
event.
right?
Yeah, that'd be
That'd be
pretty
pretty
sick.
good.
Hopefully the
Man,
I
audio
it
can
was
isn't
so
too
see
short,
that.
bad.
though.
Uh,
It felt so short this time.
Mhm.
it
Well,
did feel short.
last time sorry, you went the second time too. I missed out on that one. And this last one, um, think if I can go over this.
Mhm.
I know that other Soul streamers were invited and had to turn it down before I got the invite. My
Mm,
invite was the last one sent out. So I was like not even second pick, but third pick for the trip, which is interesting. But also because I'd already gone the first trip, I don't think that's like a um I think it put me down on the priority anyway. Because I'd already gotten the chance to do it.
mm.
Um, but I think um it's interesting because it's like trying to think of ways to like phrase this without
I
like
got you.
disclosing too much. Um, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
The beauty of it being a video and not live, you got all the time in the world.
Yeah, that
Hero
is
has to
true.
cut it.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
gotta use
I've sat
wherever he
here
could.
for like 5 hours once making sure I didn't miss anything. I'm too lazy to
I
take timestamp, but that's life.
it's harder when, like, our avatars are just, like, bobbing heads, like, there's no, like, visual cue, like, "Oh, that's when Mavi Nerd said this," or "That's when Fire," you know? It's all
Yeah,
audio.
yeah, timestamp it somewhere.
So nerd, for you,
But
what was the highs for you?
No brainer, man.
Korea?
You know, I Korea, that was crazy. Getting to go to fantasy party, uh, felt like, going something going full circle, like, it was always something that I knew of, but always was curious about. And before social streamers even existed, I saw like little glimpses of that event. And so like I'd always been like curious. And I joked like I'm gonna go to Korea and I'm gonna go to this thing and find out what it was. And then to have it happen in that way, that was crazy, you know? And then also like to see how welcoming the community was, like that was also crazy. It just seeing that gave me so much hope for like that type of energy here in America. That's what I want Campfire to be, is an event that's so big they had to have it outside in a park, and even though it stormed, they still did it.
And a lot
You
of
know,
people
like
still showed up.
a lot of so many people, like that was I found out after the fact that was the same park where they held the Olympics
Oh,
when they had them there.
Dang.
Like they have a portion of that occupied by a bunch of Mabinogi fans was such a surreal experience, because you know it's like winning the lottery. Running into someone else that plays Mabinogi is such a rare occurrence in the wild that like it doesn't make sense to me to be in a place where I could just say, yeah, I play Mabinogi, and like, oh, I know of it, and I play it. Like the amount of people who maybe didn't even play it but still know about the game in Korea speaks volumes, like how many more people there are that do, you know, that's an event that could exist. And even like looking back at the campfire, the videos, like where I did the documentary, I had footage of Rojinjin, and he was a kid practically. He looks like a different person at the earliest I won't say magma mixer, the earliest uh
Campfire?
campfire,
fantasy party.
a fantasy party.
Right.
So like that's been going for a long time, and even in Nozo videos, that was kind of a small event that also just blew up into a bigger one. So it's like, why? I think that same thing could happen with Campfire. I think that the plug got pulled a little too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just gotta keep having them yearly, and then eventually they'll pick up. Like, I don't know. It's like anything. The game, like, it'll just eventually pop off, become culty. More people will start going.
The
Just
first con's never gonna be the one that knocks it out of the park. It's the one that gets the ball rolling.
Hmm.
But that's the answer to my question. I would say going to Korea, um, in second place would probably forever be burned into my brain. The 24-hour Mabinogi live stream is
Hmm.
pretty bonkers.
I was gonna say the two that like aside from going out to the Magwell mixer and getting to go and see the offices and everything like that, I think a good second is like not it's kind of like it's all lumped into like the same experience because it was similar experiences kind of,
Mm.
but it's like when we would just kind of chill in, for the listeners, there was a Discord we were in together as a group, and we would just chill in there and like chat for
oh, the late
hours.
night ones, yeah.
Yeah, just like chill and chat with some of the other creators that were in the program. Those were like really cool. And the 24-hour stream was hype, and I found footage. I was going through like some archives the other day, and I found footage of me and Mabi Nerd doing a gotcha off where we would like compare who got the better item, and whoever got the better item won all the items.
Oh my god, I
And
forgot.
this guy gets a like one of the Hillwind Engineering golem chairs.
Oh
Man,
my god, yeah. You know what? What sucks about that? Wasn't that on the test server?
Yeah. So it
So
didn't it never actually existed in the game. Ah,
that would have been a good
so
reason to save
stupid.
our NX and to do something like that for a video.
Yeah,
ah,
that
but yeah, that
that
was
hurt. You just
like
unearthed an old wound.
some of those moments where it's like it's not even on, like it wasn't live. It wasn't I don't think we ever uploaded those videos or anything like that.
You should.
Just like the moments behind the scenes were really cool. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
those
You know
are
what? I already mentioned where that NPC like kept running from me when you're trying to speed run leveling me up.
right.
I stuck
Right,
on that.
when we were prepping for the Glen Berna stream, so we had to get everybody to Arcana level 50 and at least Link 1 before we could showcase Glen Burnout, and we wanted to get a full party of 8 people. It didn't go very well. We ended up clearing it with like 4 people instead of the full 8.
That was
But the before that started rush to try to get everybody up to that level, we used XP fruits and rebirth potions to speed level him to 20k, and then like blitzed the quest line. We got really lucky with the flint, I think. It
yep.
just happened to be like the right timing. Um, so we could get the flint so we could pass the quest. And then we used more experience fruits and rebirth potions to get through the first 50 levels. Do we get you to link 10?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because you gave me all those
Yeah.
smoldering
Yeah. And then we ran him through the storyline quest for Glenn. And as he's doing the quest for Glenn, there's that part where Louis, our winner of the Hosbando contest from 2024,
hate him. Hate him.
um, he's cool. Okay, he's chill.
He's, I'm not cool with him.
You like him more after you do the alchemic sharpshooter quest.
Okay, that's
He
fair.
has more personality there. But as you're doing the quest, there's that part where like you have to back away from him, and it's like, oh, you're not far enough away. You're not far enough away. Turns out you can fail that twice
Yeah.
in the same mission. Uh,
Yeah, I failed out of the mission twice. Like I got the game over screen because he ran away from me. And then I'm sitting there, and then like I walked toward the because it failed me, but he didn't run away. I'm like, well, that's weird. He's still standing there. And then I walk and he runs away from me and it fails a second time. I was like, this is ridiculous. Insult to injury.
mhm. Yeah, that was
That,
crazy. And then
that was fun.
the other one that was interesting was the KartRider stream where we did the
Yeah,
racing.
that was fun.
That was kind of cool.
The relay race.
Yeah.
But again, that was like an idea. Like, man, we had some really good ideas at the beginning of solo streamers for doing like group videos. Because like doing the kart rider relay
Mhm.
race, the snowman Mr. Beast style like giveaways. I
Mhm.
think that like that was the right direction. Like I wish we did more of that.
Yeah,
And it's a little bit on us too. Like we started to collaborate with each other, but in a more official capacity, I think that that would have really flourished in a lot
I
of
think so
ways.
too.
Um, Speaking of KartRider Drift, did it shut down?
KartRider Drift is done in America, and I
What?
think yeah, they announced they closed a few months ago. I think you can still play it right now, but I think that you can't buy any more. You can't spend money on the game anymore. It might be
Oh,
closed by now. By now, it might actually already be the servers might be shut down.
Nexon wasn't like kidding about restructuring, huh?
Well, that was
Mhm.
before any of that. Like the problem with
It's been a
KartRider
minute.
is baffling to me, right? Because KartRider is a game that has like an amazing legacy. It came out in Korea around the time that like Nintendo didn't have Mario Kart out there for Nintendo reasons. I'll let y'all decide why that didn't happen. But um KartRider ended up coming out and bringing kart racing that style to an audience in Korea for free, and it was online multiplayer. So it was online before Mario Kart, and it took Korea by storm. Like this is a real statistic. I kid you not. Statistically speaking, there's a near 100% chance if you mention KartRider to somebody from Korea, like someone's grandmother from Korea, they will say that they either know of or have played that game. KartRider is to Korea what the Wii Fit is to America. Everybody had that in their room for some reason, even though they didn't use it. Like my grandmother bought Wii Fit for no reason,
Mm.
but KartRider is like that. So it's crazy to think that something with such a huge legacy could flop so bad in America, and I think it kind of stems from a couple of things. Like the community is very passionate, and they were
Mhm.
very vocal about not making it being pay to win was kind of a big argument there. Like having advantages if you spend money in a kart racing game is a pretty big foul, and I think that once that got announced, when they started putting that stuff in there, because at first they didn't, and they were cool about it, but then slowly but surely, some of those features crept into the game, and I think that a lot of people just dropped it like a hot potato because they're like, nah. Because I even saw like people like Moist Critical playing KartRider for a minute, and then it just once the pay to win features came in, they just stopped playing it.
Yeah, and there was like battle passes too on top of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great way to turn people off who aren't used to it.
I'm bummed because I like
Yeah.
KartRider Drift. Like I have my Deuce Coupe, my toilet mobile. I was going all in on it. I enjoyed that game a lot. It was really addictive and fun.
And it was nice that it was on console too.
Yeah. Get that cross plat. I think it was implemented pretty well. I thought the graphics were good. I thought the mini games were fun. And now this has become a KartRider discussion. But on that topic, KartRider was, in my opinion, the most unique pet to ever be released in Mabinogi.
Most unique. Is that true?
It's the
I'm
only
trying to
pet that
think.
changes the way you play the game. If you think about it, like it allowed you to turn the game into a racing game where you can drift
Yeah, it
in
was the
first person.
gateway for the cars, huh? Like the
It
Saber
brought
X and stuff.
Yup.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a completely useless feature in terms of like gameplay, but in terms of
Mhm.
like changing how you look at Aaron, going into drift mode and driving around.
yeah, and they're pretty good at
That,
grouping too.
well, we gotta have a race because
Crazy.
I'm the drift king in Mabinogi. I'm just putting that out there.
We could race on the river.
Well, that was the other highlight. I think was inventing an entire game mode,
Oh, yeah. Not just one, mind you. We invented multiple.
multiple.
'Cause we invented the how many goblins can you get on the raft, and we invented the sticks and stones, which is like the, um, only using, uh,
Judgment Blade
judgment blade or rock throw
that worked way
in
too
the
well.
in the that was amazing, though. That was fun.
We gotta actually get together and do that again because that was like that needs to be a real game mode. Like somebody needs to
Yeah,
actually like, lock in and make that real. But like
I agree.
the goblins is so funny because there's actually like mechanics to the game working. There's strategy. You can't just let them all hop on your raft. It won't work. You have to bait them on there and you can't do too much damage or you work against yourself.
Mhm.
We should have another like mobby games going.
The
But
Mafia
we you know what?
Olympics.
I realized that we answered the question of our highest, but hero, we didn't get to hear from you.
Um, Honestly, I think I was just joining the program and connecting with other Mabinogi content creators, and I think meeting everyone in person. Like, I do wish I got like a second trip out of it, just for the sole fact like the first trip was so overwhelming and like I didn't know what to expect. Um,
Mm.
Mhm.
That was your first time in America, wasn't it?
hey, yeah, LA of all things. Um, it was fun. I had a blast, but next time I definitely um A, sunscreen more, and B, probably
Mhm.
drink way less. But man, being in that hot sun, the drinks were just going down, and that took almost a solid day away from me because of it. But it was
Oh,
worth. It
man.
was fun. I had fun meeting people IRL too, like other Mabby players was sick. Yeah, I think honestly, highs is like joining the program, connecting, and then meeting everyone in real life.
Did you ever expect that that would happen from joining the program?
Oh, not at all because like every time you OGs would talk about it, I'd be like, what's odds with me and my little channel? No way. Never would happen. And then it did, and I was like, oh shit, this is real. But yeah, it was cool. Um, I was kind of hoping for more trips just because it introduced new ways to like make Mabby content with other Mabby creators.
Yeah, that's true. Getting everyone together in one space, it's really interesting because you really get to find out right away like whose content creating style gels. Like the first time we went, me and Firelight, we stayed extra to go to
Yeah,
the
we did.
con, and that turned into a whole like whole video of its own that was really funny. And then looking back at other ones, like I always, whenever I'm like have some downtime, sometimes I always look back at some of the older like videos. I call them the crossovers. I call them the Avengers Mabinogi videos where we all like end up in the same place. And the Magma Mixer one is so funny to me because it's in the scene where me and Rixie are interviewing Casket and Enrian, and Hero just
Yeah.
appears in the background like messing with us. But somehow I didn't notice all the weird things you were doing behind me until like afterward.
Oh, right. Us standing like to the left of the video. Dude, I don't remember that. I was sloshed at that point. I was like watching it back. I was like, I did that. Okay.
It
But
was so funny. But what was extra funny too, and it wasn't intentional, but it was brought to my attention that when we were interviewing Enrian, there's multiple times because we're like locked in on like passing the mic back and forth that Casket trying to talk into the mic, and I pull it away just as she talks. It looks like it's deliberate, but it's not.
you know what? It adds to
Yeah.
the video.
It made it funnier. It's very comedic.
I am glad that I brought my setup.
Those mics worked so well.
Dude, the
It
audio
Dude,
there was terrible. Like at the mixer, like it was
that
so
was a
loud.
miracle. That was a miracle of sound design to even get the people's voices where you could like because I had to deal with that with the Elabon interview because the mics were off at that point and I didn't know they were off.
Speaking of, I gotta send you back your SD.
You still have my SD?
I'm pretty sure I
I
still
don't know
have
that.
your SD.
If you have it, you can keep it. I've got enough SD cards.
Fair enough.
How big of an SD card is it?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I just know I had
decent
all the
probably.
audio on it. It's a decent sized one. I have it in. I was like looking through my stuff, like this is not my S. Oh, yeah. And I felt bad, and I was like, I gotta get this back to you. And I
Nah,
think I was
it's chill.
planning to get it back to you at that anime convention, but then I didn't go.
OhioCon. I was
Ohio.
there. I went to OhioCon. I was
You know
I
what's
was only
crazy?
there for like 2 hours.
Weren't you were
That was a
there
whole thing.
all of Ohio Con? That was the day.
That was
That was
oh my god. Okay, so that was a whole trip. I was only there for like at the convention for like 2 hours. I played a game of Commander and that was it, and then I left because like the whole event kind of got snowed out for me.
oh man.
Like I was supposed to like spend more time there and it was rough. The roads were bad on my way there, the roads were bad on my way home. It's like
Yeah,
I
because
was
you
like
gotta
I'm not going to
remember.
risk it. I'm going to leave before. It was rough.
I think you dodged a bullet because I'm pretty sure that was the year that like all the drama came out about Ohio Con and how like it was just really bad. I guess I'm thinking of a different convention.
It could have
I might be thinking.
been what, Colossal? Were we planning to go to Colossal too?
Yeah, we were planning to do
And
Colossal
I
Con
think
as
you
well.
went, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't get the weekend off.
Yeah, that's what. Yep. Look, we gotta just like put it upon ourselves now to have like the Mabinogi meetups at conventions.
Mhm.
There's a prominent one in Canada that already has a lot of Mabinogi players, and that was Anime North.
Hmm.
That was the most Mabinogi people I've ever seen at an anime con was at Anime North.
I'd have to get a passport. I don't have one of those yet.
But we could build it. We could bring him to Colossal Con or um I would
Ohio's
say
not that far,
Youngstown.
right?
Yeah, Ohio's not. No, Ohio's pretty doable.
And dude, it's gonna even longer because I'm moving to like the like eastern tip of Canada, like far east you can go. So
At
like
least it's not as far west.
that's true. But this way I have to do like 3 layovers to get to this.
Oh man.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the fact that your first time in America is California.
Dude,
That's
I
just
loved it.
jumping into
Not to get super in the politics, but if Trump wasn't elected, I was gonna be
no, I you know what?
there.
Bullet dodged again.
Yeah, the Trump's funny, in the sense of like if you think of his presidency as like a comedy movie, kind of like Borat. To me,
Yeah.
it's fucking hilarious. But when you realize like
Yeah, it's
real
great
people are
content.
being affected, you're like, oh shit, that's not funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But picture it like a Borat movie, and it's kind of funny.
I just can't imagine like like America has to feel like a gamble every 4 years, wondering if they're gonna be your ally or your enemy. Like we tried to declare war on Canada. Like, could you imagine a future where that actually happens? Like,
Yeah, it'd be wild. Fun fact: I'm pretty sure we spoke about this before, but I maybe the Geneva Convention or maybe not Geneva. Something about war crimes. Were
Yeah, the
actually
Geneva Suggestions. Yeah.
were actually invented because of Canadians. We know how to throw down in terrible ways.
that's a good point. You know, whenever I'm like at the GM building and I get roaming charges from Canada, that's another strike, in my opinion. Like I should not, as an American, because Detroit is like right on the the border, get roaming fees for my cellular network because I walk past the Tim Hortons in the GM building.
That's so wild.
That's a real issue people have working there. Is you can't if you're visiting Detroit and you're anywhere near the GM building, you will if you don't have that's why like it's really common for a lot of places to offer like a bundle where Canada is covered with your phone because if you like near there, you're gonna get hit with roaming charges anyways. So you might as well just pay for both.
Cheaper in the long run.
I haven't gone to Youmacon in a long time. Every year it's Youmacon. I usually somehow by some series of events I end up in Japan.
Dude, it's
That's not a
crazy
bad
how much you
alternative.
travel.
I don't understand it myself because
Crazy
it's
in a
not
good way, okay? Don't take that as a
Hmm.
negative thing. Crazy
it
impressive.
it's just super weird. Like I'm kind of hurt though. I'm so stung. Like I had a really good video where I highlighted how we ended up on that TV show, and then it got content ID stricken down, and then they doubled down, so I can't even dispute it. So now I'm just like, well, I gotta re-edit it. I have one strike on my YouTube channel, and that makes me nervous.
That's
Mm,
not good.
yeah. Oh, was it? You have to take down that waffle one?
Yeah,
Dude, it was so good.
right? Like that was it was doing really good on the algorithm. It it even though it's got taken down, it made me realize like what direction I want to take my channel regardless. I want to make more videos
Hmm.
where I tell stories like that and accompany it with like relevant footage. Um so I don't see it as a complete loss. And I think if I re-edit it and I just cut back on some of the footage cuz I think it was a misunderstanding. So like full disclaimer, the studio like they gave me a lot of the go ahead. Like literally told them like, "Hey,
Mm.
I'm a YouTuber," and they're like, "Yeah, no, that's great." I told them what I was gonna do, and they emailed me footage. But I think I realized what the disconnect is.
Hmm.
I think that it's the voiceovers. So I got to talk over more of I got to narrate over more of the video.
Yeah, it's got to be considered like transformative.
Yep.
If I'm not
And
mistaken, I think those clips took up a good chunk of your video.
yeah, I was rewatching it, and some of them did. I thought I was talking over a lot of it, but in hindsight, I aim to talk over more of it. And I also think they
Hmm.
misidentified some of my personal footage from my camera as their footage.
Honestly, you know
So
what you could do? I mean, you could say fuck it and just upload it to Patreon or to like Twitter.
I literally said I was gonna like I'm just gonna put it up there and say, hey man, you can just watch it for free. If you want to support me, then you can throw $1 my way. But that video still was a lot of work on the narrative side, and
Yeah,
I
but
recorded a lot off my phone. And my phone, I don't know if you guys have like Pixels, but Pixel phones, they have like some really stupid proprietary file format that doesn't play nice with my video editor. So I
Huh.
hated it. I thought it was the resolution at first, or like because it was using they were 10-bit footage. Nope, it's not 10-bit. It's
Y'all,
1080p. 1080p, and it's still struggling because .pxl format.
oh,
Speaking of video editors, did y'all see DaVinci 20?
I need to see DaVinci 20.
Oh my.
I'm
It
so
is I don't want to get into it because it's a whole thing to talk about, but it's making waves.
in
They're
a
calling
good.
it the Adobe killer.
Ooh, I
Whoa.
like that. I think Adobe needs to get killed. So sorry, hero.
Looks like I might be switching.
It might be good. I mean,
It saves you a lot of money in the long run, not
you don't
gonna
gotta
lie.
pay for a reoccurring subscription. I'm sick of it. I'm
Yeah.
not paying
Who
for
There's
said
no
that.
fee. There's no
I'm
sub fee.
I'm
Okay,
not
fair enough.
saying
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm about to become a full-on pirate. I mean, I
Arr.
don't condone piracy. I've never pirated anything in my life, and you
You
shouldn't
wouldn't
either.
pirate a car.
So,
Yeah, you
random
wouldn't.
question. Let's pretend you're speaking on broad terms here, but let's say, for example, strictly example, made up scenario, but is it like, can you torrent in the US? Like, or do you need like a VPN and stuff? Like,
So, broadly speaking, it's not recommended. Like, the chances of you getting caught for torrenting in the US, probably pretty minimal. You'd have to be torrenting a whole lot of stuff, and at that point, your ISP has to rat you out, and they're not gonna do it. They're not incentivized to do it unless you're doing something really illegal.
mhm,
So, I think personally, I think a VPN is kind of a ripoff, but you should still be smart if you're gonna do something like that. And
yeah.
I think that people would use a VPN if they were gonna torrent. But if you just downloaded, I don't know, the newest version of Adobe, I don't think anyone's gonna care. I don't even think Adobe cares.
That's fair. Yeah, because in Canada, your ISP can't really do anything except forward the message from like the company reaching out to them, right? So like
Yeah.
they'll just forward an email and they'll be like, "Hey, please read this," and that's it. And it's been like that for years. But I remember hearing like people in the U.S. have to like actually watch out.
You gotta be careful if you're doing too much. And probably, yeah, but I think it's like they're more concerned with like people who are hosting
Mm,
rather than downloading, if that
the
makes
actual
sense. Like your
pirate
pirate bays. Yeah.
captain.
They want the captains. They don't want the crewmates. That's just what I've heard. I went down the rabbit hole a little bit, and
For educational purposes.
for educational purposes, of
Yep,
course.
yep, yep. Always good to be
If
Educationally
you
informed.
were to
speaking, I think
if you were discretion advised, this is not legal advice.
no, I'm
Yada
not a
yada.
lawyer. I don't. If you get sued for downloading MapleStory 3 illegally, that's on you, bud.
Oh, yeah, it's almost 2 a.m. here. Nothing is legal advice. It's just late night ramblings.
Well, on that note, are there any other topics we feel we need to hit? Because
Do
I can
do we
talk about my life in
wanna
theater, but
do we wanna talk about the low of the program?
Oh, yeah, why
yeah,
not?
you know what? I think we should. I think people probably want to know,
Yeah,
so I'm
transparency.
I'm 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 ready for it.
Okay. So, I feel like the program doesn't know how to handle did not know how to handle VTubers. We'll put it that
I'm
way.
sorry. I find it so funny that this is boomeranging back from LA.
It
Yeah.
all comes full circle.
Well, not just from LA.
Hmm.
No, I think you
Um,
mean the streams too, right?
yeah, the streams too. I think there's just a lot of it that wasn't meant to facilitate VTubers and, wasn't accommodating in that way either.
Yeah, I can get that. Like,
That's all I'll say about it.
I feel
Fair.
like if you were gonna accept a certain type of person into the group, knowing ahead of time, you would make sure there was something in place to make them or handle them, right? Like at
Mhm.
that point, they should have just said like, "Hey, sorry, we're not equipped to deal with the VTubers right now. Please apply again in the future." You know,
Yeah,
get that.
I think that was a major shortcoming and led to a lot of the lowest points of the program and, like, a lot of the like, quote, unquote, "failures" where, the sole streamers themselves became disappointed with, outcomes of, uh attempted like things that were attempted and ultimately either shot down or went horribly awry from how it was pictured, and a lot of that never reached like the viewer end of it. A lot of it stayed kind of behind the scenes, but it
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of disappointing in a few regards that way.
How about you, Hero?
I feel like I knew you were gonna ask me, so that way you could gauge on like how much you can say. I knew that
You
was
are
coming.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know me too well.
um, Honestly, some of my quotes that I can think is inherently, I think they took on too many people, left too many people in the program who weren't active, um, and because of that, at like a certain point, it just felt like everyone was asking for something, and they're like, "Whoa, holy shit! We only have one person to do this. We can't do it all." And then I don't know. It just felt like they expanded bigger than what they thought they could. Probably they get like easy eyes on Mabinogi.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think too many cooks in the kitchen at some point, and I'm not saying that to like exclude anybody, but I think that
Mhm,
I think there should have been like a little bit more control over like how many people and how active people were. So like if someone's inactive, they should be able to make room for someone else who will be active, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because
mhm.
like when I joined, it felt like things were running pretty smoothly. It was like a good amount of people. Everyone was pretty active. Um, and then I feel like maybe it was 5, 6 months after I joined, they let in a new wave, and then like that's around the time people stopped being active. A lot of red tape to get things done.
Yeah.
And management switching like 8 months later. Inherently, I think the issue was in order to run a program like this, North America just needs to have free freedom, like creative control. And Korea was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
nah, ain't happening. So
Mhm.
like,
You need to have the GM on your side that can be like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna press the button, the item's gonna get spawned in, the titles are gonna be created, the whatever it is you're asking for, we're gonna do it because it's a cool idea and cool ideas are cool.
yeah, dude,
And like that's what gets viewed.
anytime I wanted
And
to
that's
do
what we
something,
want.
I had to make a goddamn fucking business plan and then apply for a loan just to get it approved. And then they'll be like, hey, we'll get back to you in 6 months. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know if I'll be alive in 6 months. Like,
Yeah, I wish that was a joke. I wish that was a joke.
yeah, dude,
Oh man, that's a
I had
colorful way to put it.
they got me to put expected viewers, expected effects from this event, the reason for said item. Okay, it's cool and somebody wants a reward. That's why. And it's
I
yeah, that was a low for me.
I did not know about this. I mean, mind you, I was pretty bad about requesting stuff. The most I've ever requested are for those server raids, like the skeleton robes and all those things, like silly things. But like, I didn't know you had to go that into specifics near the end of the
I
program
mean
to get
I
anything.
mean
That's
it was like that for the fish games. And I only got approved for well, we only got support of was it 100 million gold? And a good portion of that was out of Cather's pocket.
oh yeah,
And the other 300 million that was put up for prizes was provided by us. So the 400 million total that was a prize, like 100 million of that was
you
through Soul Streamers, and a good portion of that was from Cather's directly.
you saying that just jogged my memory about something else. I'm jumping back to like the highs of the program, and I feel bad for forgetting this. I didn't forget it. I think I subconsciously still think about it a whole lot, but
Mhm.
it was the Mabinogi cipher.
Yeah. I don't think we could have done it again. I think, everybody was too busy, everybody, like, was all over. And that, um, was a really cool project. I'm really grateful that we had the chance to do that. Um, and I think the only way that like, got the support it did is because we only asked for titles.
Yep. I still want to see the titles in the wild. Like that's so crazy to think that like that's a piece of history that we put out there.
Mhm.
Who has what was it? Who has more bars than Raspa or what was it?
Or, uh, whose flow is hotter than, Raspa Volcano?
Yeah. Flow is hotter
Whose
than
flow is
Raspa.
hotter than Raspa? And then Who Dropped the Mic was the runner-ups.
That was so fun.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
project that came from it after too was great.
for me, and this is a note that I feel like I regrettably you guys have to bow out. I'm looking at the time, and I'm in the middle of what we call Hell Week still for a second show,
Wait, wait, wait,
so I
wait, wait,
can't
wait,
say.
wait. You just got to say your low real quick. What was your low?
I'm gonna say my low. My low, it's hard to say for me, right? Like, because I feel like I've seen some multiple highs and multiple lows
Mhm.
throughout it. I think every time we traded management, I think we hit a weird low where it was
Yeah.
like the reset button was pressed because each person that approached handling soul streamers had a different philosophy and idea for how we should do it, and none of them were really wrong. But as more people got onto the program and more hands got changed, I think we got more disconnected. I think a more smaller focus group is kind of what was needed. But
Mhm.
I think it got to a low once we got to a point where there's too many of us and nobody really available, to answer things. I think that it really, I'm just gonna say it. I think when Dan left, that was when I felt like I really felt like the program was kind of done. Like this is kind of cooked because he was somebody who really went above and beyond um in ways that I think maybe even outstepped like it just being his job. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
even outside of that, uh, for all of us and any concerns that we had, and um, that level of
I mean,
communication
think
never really got
oh,
hit again.
even think about, like, the VTuber thing, where we brought up the idea of, hey, the VTubers could have, like, a guide where we could walk them through, and he put me with Bao, he put Lumina with Neanners, and he put,
Yeah,
Kodevu with, Iron Mouse, and those were, like, some of the I think those were some of, like, the best,
hands down.
advertisement streams that they'd done, um, especially the Lumi one.
Yeah, like
Kodevu got a
they,
little bit of hate from that, but Iron Mouse backed him up.
it's all good. Like the real story came out. The
Yep.
real ones know.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that when you lose people like that, that's when it really felt like the soul of soul streamers kind of like was gone.
Mhm.
And it's no shade to the new management. Everybody has their own way, their own thought. I think if they were still given more time, we could have gotten into another flow, but it was another
Mhm.
restart. It was a reboot. We got to reintroduce ourselves to each other. And I think that for me personally, whenever something has to start over, it's rough for me. Like I
Yeah.
think back to I'll tell y'all a little mob nerd secret. Like I've had my earliest YouTube channels suspended, right? Like Mobby Nerd and other channels before that's like starting over, making those going into that. Mobby Nerd less so, but the channels that I'm not gonna name before that because it's like all this cringe stuff, you know. That's a feeling that you never want to see. Is that everything I made, all the progress I made is gone. It felt like any progress that we made towards like finding a flow would be disrupted and
Mhm.
start all over again. And that's when I felt like it was a low. I think those are the low points for me.
I remember Discord, that's a name that hasn't been in the Mobby community for a minute.
Yeah,
When he was making videos, he made before he ended up in the Soul Streamer program and before he left the program, he made a video criticizing the Soul Streamers program from the outside, and it was like, watching that video was like, y'all don't even know, like, how many times the program has changed hands at this point, which has made it impossible to, like, get anything done.
yeah,
Because 'cause we'd changed hands, like, 3 or 4 times before that point, and that was in the very early stages too. Um, and
definitely.
it's like, I wanna do more. I wish we could do more, but every time we have to, like, restart. Um, and yeah, I agree with that. It's like every time it changes hands and you restart, it makes it more,
It's back to square
uh,
one. And then if
difficult.
everyone doesn't communicate, then you leave certain things hanging. So like
Yeah.
if we carried if I don't know how else to like I don't want to go too into it because I know like I don't want to put anybody on blast. 'Cause everyone's trying their best and
Oh yeah.
everybody really worked hard to work with us on things. I f- I think that like if there was more communication within those circles, we could carry forth the ideas that worked and still build, like doing group YouTube
Yeah.
videos and having a whole section in the Discord where we had to brainstorm and delegate different aspects of it to different people. It played to each other's strengths. That was when Soul Streamers really hit its stride, I think.
Hmm.
And every time we switch hands, it was back to square one. It was
Yep.
just a whole new. It was a reboot. It was a reboot.
A good one, like a reboot from something from the 90s done in 2025.
Yeah.
OG's
Mm.
back that OG.
So
Bring it
anyway,
back.
what do you all think about the free run crossover 17th anniversary?
I didn't get
Okay,
to it.
we mentioned it. We can end now.
Yep. Nerd's like, oh shit, I'm here for another 30 minutes.
No. I wanted to get like some of the topics in there. Just like throw it in. Throw it in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
free reign,
those
free
things
reign.
happened. It just
The Ren was freed. Ren was freed. I totally played that update. I totally got to do all that. I also got to experience April Fools when it was so funny. Ha ha ha. They did the thing. That
mustache.
was great.
All right, to close it out, Nerd and Rick, say, do you want to plug anything? You want to shout anything?
Yo, check out my guy Hero's channel. Press the subscribe button. Uh, also,
Wholesome.
he has a Twitch channel that I don't know if he'll use again,
Yeah,
but
like
like check that out too.
I'll use
that's
it.
a good plug, and I'm gonna let you finish. But like, have you considered checking out my guy Hero's channel instead? Like, this dude has a Twitch channel that he probably isn't gonna use again, but I do recommend checking it out. And also, the sickest beats in all of Mabinogi. Let's just
True.
call it what it is. So I want to plug my boy Hero's channel as well.
Wow, wholesome.
Instead of Hero's channel because like I don't know who that guy is, but my boy Hero, like
Leave
he uploads.
leave a like, leave a comment. If you made it this far, uh,
God
throw
bless
a
your soul.
what emoji can we throw in the chat in the
I
comment?
don't know, like what emoji is the most hero emoji?
Pickle.
Pickle.
Throw a pickle
Is there
emoji in
even
the
a real
comments.
emoji? Is there a pickle
You're the
emoji?
real ones. The pickle emojis are the real ones.
Or let's go with a cow. A cow.
Yeah,
That's pretty
cow.
Pickle
iconic.
and a cow.
No, just a cow. Like pickle cow. Cow made out of pickles.
That's pretty good.